Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be showing you how to play and talking about and rating and reviewing Raft Scupper. So before we get into this, I do want to say I'm wearing one of our merch shirts. This is the Hey Good Looking, Come to This Dungeon Often shirt. Because sometimes when you're role-playing, an encounter may require you dusting off those charisma-based skills rather than doing combat.
That's right.
So if you want to get cool shirts or mugs like this, feel free to head over to our Teespring store. There's a link in my description down below. There's also a link to my Patreon if you're in a position to would like to support the channel, and also a link to BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain. So without any further ado, we're going to be getting into Raft and Scupper here. Now, Raft and Scupper was designed by David van der Laan. Or would you say Van der Land? Or
I'd go with Lan.
Van der Laan.
Double A.
I want to give a big thank you to David for sending me this copy of Raft and Scupper to play and check out and film some content with. Thank you, David. So it's designed by David van der Laan, and it is listed as being... This was the tag that was on the outside of the big wooden box it comes in. It's listed as being for 2 players, ages 10 and up, and that the games are from 10 to 30 minutes. So let's start there. So now 2 players.
Yep.
It's strictly a 2-player game. Not much to talk about. 10 and up. What do you think?
Sure. I think a 10-year-old could understand it and play it well. I don't think a 10-year-old and a 30-year-old are going to actually have a competitive game.
Well, yeah, but I mean that goes for most games.
Yeah.
But like 2 10-year-olds would be probably fine with that.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And how about the... So I agree. I think this is a pretty good estimate. How about the 10 to 30 minute time range? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think 30 is probably about as long as it would go.
And that's if you have like a really evenly matched game that goes pretty far.
Right.
Spoiler alert, we may have one of those in the...
we probably came pretty close, yeah.
In our tutorial portion.
Right.
So, okay. Now, the game comes in this wooden box. It has this little tag on the outside. It is published by Et Games, or ET Games. I'm not really sure. Et Games? ET Games? Either way. And it comes in the box. It's got this on a little cord that hangs outside the wooden box.
Right.
Inside the box, which actually, though, before we talk about all the rest of the components, I do want to talk about the box.
Yes.
Because this is a solid wooden box with a carved and engraved logo on the top. This is beautiful.
It's about as nice of a board game box as you're going to find.
Yeah, the solid wooden box with the little brass clasp. Just like when I got this, I was like, "Wow, that's freaking cool!"
Yeah.
Like it blew me away. I was immediately like, "This is amazingly cool." That's about what I got to say about that.
It's pretty amazing. And it looks like it's hand assembled.
Yeah. So then it comes with inside. You've got the tag on the outside, which gives you the basic stats. You've got a little rule book, which is really well done. It's monochrome. It's not a full color rule book, but it has lots of really great examples here. This is one of the few times you actually see another color. The examples are great for illustrating all the different methods of taking your turn as well as scoring, exactly how this all works, which I think the rule book is very well done. No complaints from me there on the rule book. It also comes with this little card, which seems like it was kind of an afterthought to be a cheat sheet on the different moves,
right?
But also to give you some possible
starting setups.
Yeah, because the normal setup is kind of random.
It's kind of random, yeah, and it's kind of random.
Yeah, but then they gave you these ones like, hey, start with this. And the card comes unfolded. I spoke to the designer. He's like, yeah, just fold it in half down the middle, and that'll be fine, and it'll fit in the lid that way because it didn't fit in the box before.
Right.
And I did that, and actually it was fine. It does fit. I don't know why they don't.
Fits right in there. Yeah.
I don't know why the publisher doesn't fold it in half for you, but yeah, so it does. It fits right in there. And then the components are, you've got tiles.
These are awesome.
Yeah, so there's 2 kinds of tiles for each color. So the yellow tiles or gold tiles have one with a square and one with a circle around the ship, and the same for the dark brown or coffee colored tiles, I would say.
Yes.
And then we've got 2 pawns for each of the factions. There are the round-bellied yellowbeards.
Very good.
They are round pegs with the golden color of the golden tiles and pictures of the pirates on them.
And then the other one are the square-jawed blackbeard.
Yes.
And these are the other opponent gameplay or game pieces.
And those are square shaped in their pegs, and also, of course, the color of the dark tiles. And those are very important for gameplay purposes, that they are, in fact, different shapes as well as different colors.
Yes.
So now, without any further ado, I think we can just take you to the table, and we'll show you how a game of this plays. We're going to go through a full game. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about how this game plays, how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here you can see us set up to play a game of Raft and Scupper. Now, in this case, we set up using the starting setup that is recommended for your first game that comes on this little card that comes with the game. For future setups, there is a semi-random way to set up where you randomly put out tiles on one end of the form and then you mirror them with the opposite tile on the other end. If you look here, you can see that on opposite ends of this form, they are mirrored. So for instance, while this is a dark tile with a square on it, on the opposite side, there is a light tile with a circle. And that is generally the way it goes, so that there is a kind of mirror image diagonally drawn sort of across the formation, if you will. Now, the basic rules of this game is that once you set up, one player places all of the pieces out, then the other player decides whether they want to be the round-bellied yellowbeards or they want to be the the square-jawed blackbeards. So, since I set up, I will let Alex decide. Alex, do you want to be the blackbeards or the yellowbeards?
I will be the yellowbeards.
Okay, so yellowbeards go first, which is why for the standard setup, you can see that there's a slight disadvantage to the yellowbeards. And the reason is, when doing the jump ship maneuver, which is one of the most common maneuvers, you're allowed to move around through adjacent ships, either that all share the same shape as your pieces, therefore squares for the blackbeards or circle pieces for the yellowbeards, or the same color. And in the case of the yellowbeards, one of them starts on a circle dark piece, which means that would only be able to move through circle pieces that are adjacent, not dark pieces. So now I'm going to explain what all that means, and we're going to run you through some of the game here so you can see how it works. So on your turn, you get to choose whether you want to do one of a few different actions. Your choices are you can jump ship, you can set sail, you can scupper, or you can pass. So jump ship is what I was talking about. It allows you to move through a flotilla of adjacent tiles that are adjacent to the one you are currently on and are in a flotilla you're allowed to move on. So the blackbeards are allowed to move through a flotilla of square tiles or a flotilla of dark tiles. So for instance, this current blackbeard piece is currently on a flotilla of square tiles that includes this tile, this tile, this tile, this tile, and this tile. So it can move there, or it can move there, or there, or there. While it is also on a flotilla of dark tiles, including this tile, this tile, this tile, this tile, and this tile. Diagonal connections do not count, so only orthogonal ones. So I can move through the dark flotilla to any one of those spaces. That is the jump ship maneuver. Now, the second option, the set sail maneuver, allows you to take your tile that the piece is on and move it. This only works if it's touching the outside of the formation. For instance, if I was here, and what you have to do is you draw an imaginary rectangle around the extremities of the board. And so, for instance, if I was here, I could not move around here because that would be beyond the extremities of the board, but I could sail it to this location or to this location. None of your moves, though, are ever allowed to split the board into multiple pieces, and since diagonal connections don't count, I could not sail it to, say, this location. That would not be legal. But here would be legal, or here would be legal. The final option is to scupper a ship. Now, to do that, you can scupper an orthogonally adjacent ship to one of your pieces, and that ship must have at least one of its sides touching the open table, not, completely open. So for instance, here I could scupper this ship here, or I could scupper this ship here, because both of them have multiple sides wide open to the edge of the table. After that, if you cannot do anything, you can pass, or you can also always choose to pass. And the ways to win are to either group all of your shaped ships, so square for the Blackbeards and round for the Yellowbeards, or all of your remaining color ships, so dark for the Blackbeards and light for the Yellowbeards. If you can group them all into one big group, you will win the game. In addition, as you scupper ships, you're going to keep them over by yourself until your opponent scuppers ships, at which point you discard them. If you're ever able to scupper 4 ships without your opponent scuppering anything, so you don't have to discard them, you will also win the game that way. So now we're going to run you through, after that explanation, to kind of make this all make sense and show you how it goes. So Alex, since you chose to be the Yellowbeards, you go first.
Yes. I will jump ship.
Oh.
And move.
Are you going through the round-rigged flotilla or the yellow cargo, the gold cargo flotilla?
I'm going to go through the round rigging, so one of these.
Gotcha.
These. And I'm going to move very simply to here.
Okay. I am also going to jump ship. I'm going to move here through the dark ships and jump to there.
I will scupper this ship.
I must tell you, I am now suddenly worried that you and I have a very similar strategy that we're working on, because I am going to scupper this ship.
Uh-oh.
And you, of course, must discard yours.
Yeah. Jump ship.
I'm going to jump ship over here.
I'm going to set sail.
I'm going to jump ship using the dark tiles this time to move to there.
Ooh. I'm going to jump ship, staying on the round to there.
I'm going to scupper this tile here.
I shall scupper this tile here, getting rid of your 2.
I'm going to set sail, and I'm going to move this tile there.
Scupper.
Of course you did. I'm going to jump ship over there.
Ooh. I'm going to set sail to there.
I'm going to set sail this tile to there.
Ooh. Jump ship.
I'm going to jump ship.
Oh. Set sail.
Scupper. You got to discard yours.
Scupper.
Oh, man. That's going to get interesting really quick. I'm going to set sail again.
Ooh.
Go to here.
Scupper.
Scupper.
Set sail.
Set sail.
Ooh. Jump ship to white.
Scupper.
Jump ship.
Okay. Through the circles, I guess.
Oops. Ooh. Too many moves to there. Okay.
Huh. That was slightly unexpected. Over here, I'm going to jump ship through the dark tiles. Go over there.
Scupper.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you? You scuppered that.
Scuppered it.
I'm going to jump ship across the square tiles to there.
Ooh. Okay. Jump ship.
Set sail.
Set sail.
Where are you going to go?
All right, back to there.
That actually rather messed with what I was going to do. Interestingly enough. Scupper.
Jump ship.
Set sail.
Set sail.
That's great. That was an awesome. You went like up the canal there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was really well done. I liked that. Scupper.
Woo. Jump ship.
Set sail.
I think you got me.
I wasn't sure if you saw what I was doing.
Yeah,
I guess you're.
I've been seeing what you've been doing for a while, and I just can't stop you.
Because I got through a few turns of working on my current strategy before I think you realized what I was up to, where I was destroying my own ships. Because I was going to say you can keep trying to block me, but it's literally you're just giving up your moves to stop me from, rather than moving yourself closer to winning yourself. So there is that.
Which I'm going to have to do, but I have one more option here.
Jump ship through the squares.
Set sail.
Set sail. Game.
Ah, you did it.
And there is all of the remaining squares are all in a single flotilla, which with of course the square draw Blackbeards. You have to either get all the square shaped rigging or all of the dark cargo in one flotilla. I got all the squares.
Nice.
So while you were doing that, what I was planning on doing was I was going to start doing more scuppering,
right.
because since you were blocking me for a while there
Right.
from getting that last piece, I was just going to just scupper it before. Because you were blocking me, I was going to try to get the 4 scuppered ships in a row. But then when you moved him out of the way, I don't think you realized.
No,
you
I didn't realize I opened it up.
I
I was going to scupper him so you weren't connected anymore.
But yeah, I was able to. You made the path, and the one set sail let me do it.
That's it.
So there you go. That's how you play a game of Raft and Scupper. So now we're going to head back over. I'm going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, welcome back. That was how you play a game of Raft and Scupper, and that wound up being a really good game to show because there was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
If you were following our moves there, you would have seen a lot of, one of us was winning, then the other one was winning, until I finally got that like catch-22 on you where you were like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
And managed to, you made a wrong move, and then I finished it.
And you're constantly fighting your urge to build with your need to block. And
Offense and defense.
Yep.
So, all right, let's start with any negatives we might have about this game. Do you have any negatives you want to draw attention to with Raft and Scupper?
The setup.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. That's my only negative as well. Did you have any negatives other than the setup though?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, all right. So then, in which case, we'll jointly talk about the setup because that's really our only negative. Yeah. So the random setup.
There needs to be another word
because it's not really random,
but it's not prescribed.
So there is.
Well, I don't know what it is.
So there is a prescribed setup to try to begin with. And that's fairly easy to do and good, but then you're only going to play that a couple of times before you're going to want to have different setups, and you could try making different setups yourself, or you could attempt to do the sort of random setup that's in the book. And now the thing is, you can randomize easily whether it's square or circle, but you can't really randomize easily what color it is.
Right.
At least not in a time sensitive manner. It would take a really long time to set up if every time you're flipping a coin about whether you're going to do pull off the face down dark stack or the face down light stack.
You almost need like an app or
a big bag maybe
or a computer program that randomly generates, and then you just like
the
tiles are numbered on the back and you just put them where they're random. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, so
because it's hard to randomly assign two colors.
The setup is my only gripe. It is the only negative thing. It's a little fiddly. It takes a little bit of time, and it's not truly random. I kind of feel like it would have been cooler if they had a little booklet of possible setups to try, and then we're like, here's some ideas for making your own about trying to make sure that they're mirrored, because they should all be mirrored.
Right.
But that being said, once you get past the setup and you start playing the game is fantastic.
Yes.
We have not had a bad time playing this game yet.
No. That last one was, I think, the most in-depth, certainly the most setting sail.
It was tooth and nail.
Because there's only three movements, and there's only two things you
You mean 3 possible things to do for your turn?
I'm sorry, 3.
Because I was going to say Scupper's not moving.
Scupper, no, 3 things you can do. Right, 3 actions. That's what I'm looking for. So it's 3 actions, and then there's only 2 options of where you go.
Right.
So there's really not that much variability in the
turns.
But it's a puzzle.
Well, but the thing is, you may not have a huge amount of variability in the turns, but there's a lot of variability in what you can do with those turns. Yes. And since there's 2 different ways to win, that adds an amazing amount of complexity. Because if someone is playing really defensively and stopping you from getting one of your flotillas together, you can be like, fine, I'm just going to scupper a bunch of ships.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to eat away at the board. And eventually either I'm going to destroy all my extra ships and get, the flotilla together. Or if you're not responding, I'm going to get 4 scuppers and I'm going to win.
Right. And in theory, you can have a flotilla of 2 and win this game.
You could have a flotilla of 1 and win
the game. That's right, yeah.
Though I think if you got down to that flotilla of 1, your opponent probably would have beaten you. Yeah, they probably would have been all grouped together. Yeah,
because everything has to touch and everything. So then the limitations on what you can do with the board. So the board is evolving as you play, obviously. Yes. But then the limitations on where you can go with that and how you can. It has to maintain uniform. It has to be connected. It cannot expand past where it essentially starts.
So you can't, and when you shrink the board, you can't expand back out.
Right.
So once you scupper something off that shrinks the board down, you can no longer sail around that area. Right. So you can't expand the board larger again.
So the constraints on the rules and then the board make for the strategy and the gameplay
very deep,
and it all builds on top of each other for a lot of complexity on something that really only has 3 actions and 2 colors.
And 2 ways to win.
So it doesn't seem like it should be that complex, but it really is.
And it really is. There's a lot of depth here. Yeah. And one of the things I think is brilliant, so when the jump ship action can be so brain burning because of how you're only allowed to move through either a flotilla of your own shape or a flotilla of your own color. And if you wind up moving on your own color pieces to a space that is the opposite shape, you've suddenly limited your next movement.
Right.
Because you're no longer on 2 flotillas you can move through, you're only on 1.
Right.
And that can be really interesting because sometimes you may need to move to one of those spaces to scupper a certain tile, but then the next turn when you're moving back off, you've hampered yourself.
Yes.
And it may take you 2 turns just to jump ship and get where you want to go, or you may have to set sail.
Right. And the setting sail thing, I think the first couple times we played this, I didn't fully utilize, and then this game it was like
we did a lot of setting sail in this game,
and that's how you can really change the dynamics of
a lot. Yes,
with you just change the board
completely.
How many times did we say to each other, well, now I got to do something
I guess completely different. And then also, so those elements do make it so much more interesting. Constantly trying to watch, okay, wait a minute, how close is my opponent to making a flotilla versus how close am I making a flotilla? Should I switch to playing defensively? Can I keep playing offensively? Mm-hmm. It's all very, very brilliant. It's very well done. It's really brain burning. And this is one, I don't think I got this game until about 3/4 of the way through our first game of it. Our first game of it, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah, right. well, you're like, can I move there? And even I still find myself screwing this up occasionally. Like, can I move to that spot?
No, you can't.
Right color, wrong. No, I can't move that. It's the right color or wrong shape or whatever. But it is more complex and more.
It speaks to its depth,
deep thinking than you think. It would just open. It looks like a young kid's toy game, but it's not.
But it's not. It's quite deep. So when you compare this to a game like chess, where you're like, oh, but chess has so many more moves you can make. Each of the pieces moves differently. Yes. But each of the pieces can go to just about any square, notwithstanding bishops. Right. Each of the pieces can land on just about any square on the board. Whereas here, when you're doing your jump ship, you're like, oh, but I can't move there.
Right. I'm hemmed in.
Yeah, because I've accidentally painted myself into a corner, and now I literally can't get back out. I'll have to set sail to get back out. But right now, there are tiles in the way. I literally can't set sail to get out of this corner.
Right. And,
which is awesome.
Yeah, I think any game where your pieces move on, like a chessboard, the alternating grid, the alternating color grid. Any game that operates like that is going to immediately get compared to chess. But it's if your chessboard got smaller as you played. It's very different gameplay when you do that.
It's got a very so the gameplay in this is very unique in my opinion.
Right.
There's not another game I can directly like. I wouldn't compare it to chess except for like I was saying before with the complexity because it seems like chess should be more complex because there's more moves, but this is actually more complex than chess in my opinion.
If certainly, I mean, you can be if you're using
it feels
fully utilizing all of the ways that you can do this game. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, no, this is a really, really awesome, really well done game. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with Raft Scupper before we get into the review and the rating? We're raving about it a lot. Obviously, we like it.
No, I think let's go. Let's get right into the rating of it.
So now, this is a really good game. Do you want to? I mean, we're not giving. There's no way to hide it. We're both big fans of this game. Do you want to go first or second with the rating?
I'll go first, and I actually was struggling with this during the game. I like the game a lot, and the game setup, design, gameplay.
Yeah, the setup is the only thing that's holding me back at all.
The setup takes a little bit off of it. They try to work around it, but in the end, if you want to play it more than a few times, you're gonna end up doing this random setup thing, and it's kind of a pain. So I'm giving with setup, gameplay, and all that. I'm gonna give it 7.5. However,
still quite positive
because of the quality of the game pieces, the quality of the box. They put a lot of attention into the details and the production of this game, and it pays off and it makes it more enjoyable, I think. I mean,
agreed.
Sometimes it's just a varnish on top of a crappy game.
No, this is an amazing game and an amazing production.
So this is a full 8 stars for me. This is a half a star.
You rated it twice, so it's an 8-star game for you.
That's what I said. 7.5 with gameplay and everything. But you add the quality of the production, it's an 8-star game. Sorry, I was building up to it.
So 8 stars.
Yes,
8 star.
I was building up to the 8.
I'm gonna give it 8 stars as well.
There you go.
I absolutely adore this game. So the game is brilliant. The gameplay is brilliant. The game. It really breaks your mind. It's very brain burning. It takes you a few games to really properly be able to watch both offensive and defensive, and that's the kind of game I love. This is a really well done abstract strategy. 8 stars is a very high rating. 2 8-star ratings is 16 total stars out of a possible 20 stars, which is huge. That's a really high rating. So yeah, this is 2 thumbs way up
for
from
sure.
us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can highly recommend Raft Scupper to you. This game is really fun. If you're into abstract games and you thought what we were doing when we were doing our tutorial showing how a full game of this goes, if you think that looks cool and interesting to you, buy this game. This is a great game to have in your collection. And holy crap, does it look awesome sitting like out on a shelf or on a table somewhere.
And that would be an awesome gift. I mean, somebody's going to open that and they're going to be impressed.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 2 thumbs way up. So if you enjoyed this review and tutorial and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain. That's Kaptain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.